Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my sketchbook. Hey, did you know that there is a new Super Mario Galaxy movie? There's a few people that are going to see that this weekend. It should be pretty entertaining. Uh, let's open this up. Although I already did before because I already know what's in here. Get this. Look at that. That's Mario just kind of flying around. And you can keep this as a stand, or you can hang this on like a backpack or something like that. It's a kind of an interesting thing. Much like a lot of the things that you get from McDonald's, I don't know if this is a toy. To be honest with you, I don't really think this is a toy. Let's set that right there for a moment. Put the box off to one side. For example, this is kind of a toy. This is a Mario Kart. That's kind of a neat thing. But I started thinking, well, what's something that I really haven't seen that would be kind of interesting? I was reminded of this. This is, look at this, 1981. And this is from the ColecoVision gaming system. Look at that. Made in the USA. How interesting is this thing? So here it says 1981 Nintendo of America, printed in the USA. Over here it says 1982 Coleco Industries. So very strange. But what's popped into my brain with that? Well, let's open up the inkwell. Kind of thinking Bruce Banner kind of thing. Kind of thinking the Hulk kind of thing. Kind of thinking what would happen if Mario turned into Donkey Kong. Now, I know that you can find a version of that in the games, but I just kind of wanted to do maybe my version of that and see what that might look like. Might look terrible, might look like awesome fun. I don't know. So let's dip the pen here. And let's zoom in a little bit. How about to here? And let's see if we can lock that down. Now, this is going to be strange because I kind of picture it in my head a little bit, but not perfectly. So I wanted a place where the eyes can start first. From the nose. Just like that. Now let's see if I can even zoom in a little bit more on that so you can see where I'm going with this. Oh, that didn't go quite as planned. Come on now. Okay, let's move that right about there. Now it's funny, I actually dedicated the Inktober drawings to Nintendo, which was kind of fun to do. I'm just kind of semi-finishing as I go. It's not really necessary to do this, but I just kind of do this once in a while in case like I want something to go one way or the other. So that in my brain kind of looks a little bit like Donkey Kong. Not perfectly, but then now we got to try to get like a feature of Mario in there somehow. And I think to do that, we should probably go with like his mustache. But we got to make it so that it's not too ridiculous. You know what? It's okay if it is. How about that? I think the movie's going to be pretty entertaining. I believe Chris Pratt is lending his voice to it once again, to the voice of Mario, so that should be good. It was pretty fun, the last movie. Got to see it with William, who's this super fan, more of a Luigi kind of guy. But it's more fun to sort of see that stuff with people that know those characters and have a different expectation. And I think it's far better in a lot of ways to see that stuff with people who are those kinds of fans. So, yeah. Now, this is going to be strange in my head, this part, perhaps. So I need to figure out what to do with his tuft of hair versus the hat. Now, if Mario turns into Donkey Kong, well, he gets a lot bigger and the hat would look a lot smaller. So, let's see what we can do with that. Have the hat kind of off to one side a little bit. So almost kind of like barely hanging on, maybe. We'll kind of finish up a couple of things as we go along here. Now, Donkey Kong, weirdly enough, doesn't wear a shirt. He mostly wears a tie. But could we wear a tie with overalls? I don't see why not. So let's see if we can do some version of that. We'll have a tie here. It's a kind of a wide tie too, so let's... Just like that. He has his initials on his tie, just in case you didn't know who he is. Something like that. But now we have to figure out. So, and have his shoulders kind of up here. His chest would be right about there, I think, but so this is just an idea. It's not going to be perfectly accurate, of course. Doesn't have to be. But I've drawn this character more than twice. Well, not this character. Let's lock this down again. I've drawn Donkey Kong a couple of times over the years. Something like that. Now, because we have this other arm raised up, the strap is just going to be slightly higher, I think. Now what are we going to do with this hand? Where did I put that cool little box? Well, perhaps we can use that somehow. So let's say just like that, but we can have it kind of tilted a little bit too. Just a little bit. A little bit of 3D is not so bad. Oh, it just popped into my head, but I think it'd be kind of interesting to have like a Mario Minecraft crossover. I doubt very much that would happen in the movie. They're kind of very different worlds, but that'd be kind of neat. Okay, so that's the rough idea there for the box. Okay. Now what do we need to do? Well, we probably don't need to have a red shirt, because it probably would have burst anyway. Let's say this is like that too. Probably wouldn't have shoes anymore because those would burst off his feet. Okay. Well, that is kind of interesting. Now, let's see here. Don't really have a lot of room for the, the pocket here because of the ties in the way. There's some semblance of a pocket on either side there. But yeah, the shoes, I'm not going to have room for the shoes. Let's back this out a little bit further maybe. Okay. Well, this seems like an interesting idea. I'm going to do a slight bit of outlining. And I think for fun, we're going to add a little bit of color to this. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you wish, if you're going to see this movie. I do enjoy being entertained. I saw the preview for this movie. It made me laugh as a little mini Bowser was running around. So that was funny. Now, let's see. Do I want to use the bunny pen? Sure, let's use the bunny pen. Let's start off with yellow just because. Now, growing up, the Super Nintendo system, we sort of got that late at my house. We had a Coleco, which was pretty cool. And, you know, it was a semi-passed down game. Not really down, because my cousins, well, they got the latest whatever it was, so they didn't use this anymore. So we got the ColecoVision because it was just an entertaining thing to have around the house. Now, as far as those games, they were pretty neat. You know, you could go on little adventures of sorts, I guess, with those. There was like Zaxxon, and there's a few other games like that as well. Moon landing type things, and so that was fun. Something that I didn't do is bring out the blue in Mario's eyes. So I want there to be a distinction between Donkey Kong and Mario, if this indeed is Mario as Donkey Kong. So we'll let him keep his piercing blue eyes. We'll zoom in on this after the fact anyway. I'm just going to do a little bit of reconnaissance black in the mustache. And that way when I bring out the brush and some water, this isn't really going to get too out of hand there. Next. Let's do some of this fur. Yeah. We'll try to keep certain parts of it away from other parts of it. We'll just kind of lightly keep the direction of the fur as well. So I don't want this to go in all wild directions. So this is Easter weekend. It is a big deal religious holiday. Some of you may have the school day off. Where I am right now, we're getting some sort of like a little bit of snow, and could make driving a little bit strange. So be careful out there if there's inclement weather. So again, here I'm just putting in some slight detail. We're just over 20 minutes of doodle time. Next. Blue. Because we got to have the overalls. It's funny, in the last video I drew a quick and semi-ugly doodle of Hello Kitty, who's wearing overalls. I set that aside somewhere. Look at this. That's funny. More overalls. Blue overalls? Come on, people. Take it easy. Take it easy on the overalls. I think the last time that I wore overalls like that was in the 1990s. I wear coveralls, but overalls, you know, that jean-like material. Yeah, no, I don't wear those anymore. The cool thing, if you wore overalls back then, was that you would leave, let's say, one of these straps undone. Why, you might ask? I have no idea. Let's just say that perhaps it was meant to look a little bit like a toga, which would be something that, you know, if you picture a Greek philosopher wearing, I think it might have been kind of like a frat house mentality left over from the 1980s. There were a lot of movies like that that had these like toga party type things. Totally ridiculous. Yeah, I haven't really thought about that. Like, why did we walk around with one strap undone on our overalls? I kind of found those things to be uncomfortable to wear anyway. So, there you go. I don't know what else I can say about that. The things that we wear for fashion's sake most often are ridiculous anyway. Some things come back. I mean, I see people walking around now with ripped jeans. And, you know, you can buy them that way. When I was a kid, ripped jeans happened because you were doing awesome stuff. You know, you're ripping around on your skateboard and you blew the knee out of your pants or whatever. So let's go to red here next. We're going to take care of this tie. Now, this might seem a little backward, what I'm doing with the coloring part of this before I do the brush and water thing. But I want this to kind of get a little murky. And we'll see how it looks. If you haven't been here before, welcome to my little sketchbook artsy channel thing. This is a place where I do my drawings in real time, freehand, and no editing. So if I make a mistake on camera, I'm going to live with it. So this is a one-take thing. And plus it's my sketchbook, so in this sketchbook, if I make a mistake, it's really not that bad. Like, this is for fun. This is where I learn and experiment. And sometimes, unfortunately, I do some horrible learning experience drawings. So, fun for me. I don't know if it's fun for you guys, but for those of you who've subscribed, thank you for your subscription. For those of you who like, thank you for liking and commenting. And yeah, so I mean, if there's stuff that you want to see me attempt to do, send me a little comment there. I'll probably give it a shot just because I think it would be fun. I don't know if there's anything else I want to add to this. I may thicken up some part of the mustache. I'll definitely go back into the pupils here. in the final bits of things. But let's see here. Brush and water time. Let's put the bunny pen away. Good to see a bunny pen. I have a cup here, some water in it. I have my #1 detailing brush. I have finer brushes, but I like this one because it can move a lot of water reasonably fast. So I'm going to start in a place where it could be a little messy, but that's okay. I'm going in here to the mustache first. It's me, Donkey Kong. I don't know where that voice came from. It's me, Donkey Kong. You know, throwing barrels. I don't know if I really say that he was as bad of a guy. You know what? I think he probably was a bad guy. So a lot of those movies like King Kong or whatnot, they make it seem as if I don't know if I really want to get into this. Well, the idea is that he was the ruler of his own kind of land, and then he's taken away, put in chains, and meant to be kind of a spectacle. And for whatever reason, he took a liking to some, I guess, somewhat innocent looking person, but not really innocent, just somebody that I have no idea that just took a liking to. And as I said, I don't really want to get into that stuff. Anyway, so abducted is the thing, and then along comes somebody that has to rescue. So Bowser kind of does the same thing, looking to run off with the princess. And, then it kind of becomes up to Mario to rescue the princess. And that's kind of like the premise of a lot of games and whatnot, too, that somehow the princess needs to be saved. And if you're a princess yourself and you like playing video games, you might think, I have no interest in rescuing somebody that probably doesn't need rescuing. And I think that was kind of the funny thing that was in the last movie. It was like, well, Princess Peach is actually pretty tough. And if you play Mario Kart, the awesome race car driver as well. So I guess not every princess needs to be saved. Now I'm going in here. I'm going to try to draw out some of the black lines on top of the blue that I put in there. The blue ink from the bunny pen doesn't manipulate with water. It's kind of a gel-like thing, but around the edges, I did the other water-soluble mystery black ink that I have. And that is my favorite sketchbook ink to use for this purpose. So I can get in here after and move it around. Okay. Under here, I'm going to just sort of very lightly drop in some shadow. Shadow. Ah, yeah. My voice seems a little crispy today. I wonder what that is. Maybe I could use that voice to practice Transformers or something like that. Autobots, 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 roll out. Sure. The Decepticons, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. It happens like that once in a while. It's sort of like you can get a little hoarse. I don't think I'm coming down with anything. I don't really get sick like that. So, that being that, let's work our way around final details and then let this be done. So, I didn't do anything with the brush and water on the box here because I just wanted it to, to be as if Mario, as Donkey Kong, would not have to jump. So this is almost like effortless movement to reach this box. Outline, outline, outline. I'm trying to go from this side to this side because I am right-handed and I don't want to smudge and smear too much. It's okay if I do. A little bit of, well, we're not going to put in any armpit fur because he's covered in fur. I don't perfectly remember what Donkey Kong looks like, so I hope this is close enough. Let's put the little glimmer off to one side there. But I've drawn him more than a few times, so I have a pretty good idea. I try to do things from memory as often as I can. It ends up being a little bit off too, though, because sometimes my memory fails me like that, so not the worst thing. You just kind of have to figure out what you want as you're doing it, and then, sometimes you surprise yourself, though. Speaking of making mistakes, in my sketchbook, when I was doing the Inktober thing, I made some horrible, horrible drawings of, I think the first one was Wario, and I made him rather square-like, which is okay. But, I gave myself 10 minutes for each one of those prompts, which is probably just about the perfect amount of time, for me anyway, just to get an idea without really overworking it, which is kind of what I'm doing with this now. I can spend 5 hours on something that really only needs 10 minutes. That's always the fun thing in my brain, though. Drawing for the sake of drawing, and it's fun. And this isn't a masterpiece by any means. This is just... It's also your opportunity to look at the, how long the video is going to be, and then go, well, yeah, maybe I'm going to hang out with this guy for, I don't know, over 35 minutes and draw along. You don't have to draw the same thing. I can just be kind of like, I don't know, that voice that unnecessarily rambles on about stuff. So, after you put the kids to bed, or you're having a quiet moment after school, or you're, I don't know, on an airplane, you could just be like, oh, okay, I'm going to draw for a little bit and then just hang out. And then draw something better than what I have going on here, which isn't too difficult to do. This is just an idea. It's not meant to be an outrageous thing. It's just, we're just doing some art. Just doing some art. Put a couple little creases in the tie just below the knot there. I don't wear ties too often. I think funerals are the only place that I wear ties. When I got married, along with my groomsmen, we all wore Hawaiian shirts. I went out of my way to get each one of my groomsmen a really cool Tommy Bahama green shirt, because in my everyday life I wear Tommy Bahama Hawaiian shirts. So it's funny when I look back at that stuff now and I think, well, my grandfather, who passed away a little while after that, he actually showed up in a Hawaiian shirt as well. So that's how much Hawaiian shirts are kind of part of my everyday life. So married in one, I'll probably be buried in one. I have no, well, here's the thing. I don't plan on really caring what I'm up to after that. But as far as what happens with what remains, I'm to be cremated, and there's whatever organs or what have you that can go to somebody else if they need them. I've taken pretty good care of them. Well, then make use of what you can, because I'm done with it. And then, yeah, the rest can be disposed of. This kind of turned a little bit odd, didn't it? This conversation of what have you. Yeah, so there's that, I guess. I think that's kind of it. I don't know if I need to go any further than that. I mean, I could spend more time on that, but honestly, I don't need to. That is my good friend Mario as Donkey Kong. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. I hope you have a great day. Happy Easter. And yeah, this is a little kind of strange. Tell me what you think of the movie if you see it. All right then, folks. Ciao for now.